Yeah. Also, I feel like they're too threatened right now about ITB's draft. If they go Drow, I'm pretty sure Into the Breach are going to counter it with at least the 4th pick. You need to pick the Drow now if you want to take the Drow TB matchup. Big question is...
You can wait one more.
Yeah. Big question is, does Drow belong to Slavi's hero pool? Because that's also a thing. Like, if he just doesn't play Drow, you don't want to play it against the TB if you're not comfortable with the hero. That's also something that you always have to take into account. Like, why don't you pick this? Why don't you pick that? Well, it's the biggest tournament of your life. You want to play a hero you're not comfortable with. You'd rather play with comforts. And SD is another muff hero. I remember Sani playing this hero quite a lot. But yeah, I do like the addition to this. It also helps keeping the distance to the TB. Also, the TB illusions that you can de-push your opponent with.
To make all the wrong
You can also possibly disrupt targets that the TB is about to sunder.
Yep,
Very
and there's
useful.
the Wraith King that they banned.
Wraith King.
They got it through this time.
I see. Well, that is definitely more a Slawi hero than any of the other counters that I just mentioned. I don't want to say that Wraith King is a TB counter per se, though. You're really just looking to outlast him in the fight. But at some point, he is going to have an item on top of his Skadi. And that's where you really get in trouble, because you can't man-fight him anymore, and you're also, once you're in, you're not going to get out anymore. Your second life isn't of much use if you can't actually make a stand with it or kill anyone with it. And that is definitely the risk you run if you're just into a Skadi meta Terrorblade.
Kind of looking at some options here for Into the Breach. They have got a pretty open perspective here. Pause 3, pause 2 still open. They can still decide on their order. They could leave their mid pick for last. Let Hippomaniacs respond with whatever they want, because ITB, they already won game 1 pretty convincingly. So I'm pretty sure whatever they have to match up against, they'll welcome it with open arms. I feel like the skill level difference is a tiny bit different here. Maybe in a sense of team chemistry. ITB's players have been together for a tad bit longer than the Hippo boys. Well, Hippos actually have been together for quite a long time. I'll take that back. But with the 2 new players, and especially having a new carry player, you're forcing your gameplay style to change a lot. So this is the game to make it really count. Tidehunter, though, for ITB. We got a Ravage to work with the TB meta, standing on the spot, right-clicking everybody. You can throw a Mirana Arrow to combine it into a 8-second stun.
5 seconds.
That's quite a lot. And then you also have the Tusk with the Snowball. Snowball saves, nice.
And this also adds a lot of extra minus armor. Like, the Tusk is already a bit, but now with the Tidehunter as well, versus these melee cores, a lot of damage reduction plus the minus armor into these strength cores, this TB is going to hit hard just by virtue of his team helping him out here, especially if this Tidehunter is tanky enough to just frontline through this. Once again, this ITB lineup could really snowball out of control fast. There are definitely ways for this TB to start playing up early, if the game goes well enough, and that's where Hippomaniacs would once again get steamrolled, so they have to be very careful.
They do. They're taking away the Storm Spear at least, another more flashy hero, plus an Orchid Carrier to really ruin Terrorblade early on. Maybe push back the Manta timing a little bit as well. What else? What else would they actually want to get rid of? They've already banned the Invoker, the Viper, the Storm, the Pugna, so...
I'd like Zeus to take a big tumble here.
Oh yeah, the Mumbo Zeus, actually. Very true. TA is in the pool, but TA is not really a threat here. And I don't think Ember is either a very suiting hero. So if they don't go for those bans, it's got to be something out of the box. Yeah, Batrider would make sense. That is one of the strongest lane counters for the Terrorblade. Then they could put the DK mid as well if they went for the Batrider, but yeah. Hippos banned the Ember themselves.
Radiant team pick.
Question is, what are they going to grab? Oh, we're just going in on the minus armor, baby. Alright.
Minus armor, spell damage. We've got a mid Snapfire by the looks of it. So, Adzantic style.
Possible. I'd love that. I think it's very likely here with the amount of minus armor that they already have. The fact that Snapfire
5 seconds.
um,
Hurry, hurry.
only scales in very big leaps normally doesn't matter as much because yeah, you will output a lot of physical damage if your team just enables you. And they have so many disables now, so much positional play.
Plus, they are banterous enough, they might as well just pull off a mid-Snapfire. Part of the UK story, but there is the Mambo Zeus, and it is an Adzantic mid-Snapfire. Or actually, wait, are we pulling the Malik into the mid lane after all? How are we laning this? How are we laning this, actually? Because Malik played the off-lane Brood in the mid lane. They put... wait, hang on, sorry, never... What am I saying here? What am I missing here? Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. How do we lane this? Snapfire mid?
They laned it very traditionally the last time around. I think so, yes. You're going to be clearing the wave pretty decently with Snapfire after a couple of couple of waves, couple of levels. The Zeus is not a threat to your tower, luckily. In fact, if he pushes you out a lot, you have a lot of roaming potential with your supports. I think putting the Snap in the mid is fine, and this Zeus actually has to be careful that he does not press his advantage too much, because there will be roams. And Hippomaniacs warding should take that into account right now.
One thing that is really hurting my eyes is this Tidehunter set. I don't know when he's grown such a big belly. It's a bit...
Oh, I thought you were talking about him stealing your haircut.
No. Oh, no. Don't you dare do that to me. Not in this case. Anyway, ladies and gents, heading over to game number 2 of this series. Into the Breach are up ahead. 1 map. 1 more win, and they're through to the next stage. And we'll give you a quick... well, this is a spoiler alert. We are on a squad stream, so don't worry about that. But I want to tell you about what's happening on the other stream. Hellbear Smashers won game number 1 against Team Nigma, but Nigma tied it up. Game 3 is already well underway, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be something about that in the minutes to come. It might have already been over by the time our stream catches up, but good for you to know. You can also watch Beyond the Summits main channel. You're also very welcome to stay here and watch the banterous Brits versus the, I don't know, very courageous Czech team over as Philmany runs into a full-on 5-man onslaught, and that's going to be first blood picked up for Adzantic.
I'll help my weak and puny allies where I can.
Very nice start to the lane for him.
1 minute until 30
There's some
seconds
cool
after
shenanigans you can build off of this draft with...
Fishman.
Yeah, he's scouting the ward. Yep. So he gets the info. The ward is on the bottom side because he's...
No,
boys. Oh,
like,
boy, yeah.
They saw him there. The problem is that from that angle, the ward couldn't actually see him, right? Because he got hit over here. If the ward's here, you can't see him. It needed to be over here, but that's a hard call to make if you're just standing there in the fog and suddenly a tower shot hits you.
It's true. It's true.
So,
But at least they have... It's a 50-50 again. They pop the sentry down. The ward's not there. It has to be on the other side. So they will know. They'll have to spend another bit of gold to get that ward out of the way if they want to get it. Though, as we're looking at this for the Hippomaniacs, a win is needed to keep this series alive, keep their tournament's hope alive. That's what they're going to need. Stay in the competition. It's only going to get harder from here, to be honest. We saw Chicken Fighters take a 2-0 and no Bounty Hunter. Are we going to see a second 2-0 of the day? We'll have to see and find out.
Let no more couriers
Tanner's
die with
courier
a
taken out by Muff.
and I think that just like in this series, we see a much better draft out from the underdog the next time around. But once again, it's fragile. They're going to have to lean on the Zeus to deal with the TB in the mid game, but ultimately, late game, Zeus alone is not enough, and neither will your Wraith King be. So they have a fast game to play into an opponent who was faster than last time. Tough ask. On top, Tipek.
Catching arrow,
Oh,
tip
boy.
back down. Yeah. That's the metamorph on a DK. That hurts.
This man's
acting.
traumatized by now. Fishman's doing the exact same thing as with the Clockwork. He's not going to leave this lane. He's not going to pull. He's just going to kill his enemies.
And this is
It's a little bit harder to do with TB though.
Yeah, it's kind of the same as the last time. One melee, one range, but it's working out beautifully. Tag team used up. LSA stun on the Tusk. Tusk just hits level 2 as well. Gets the shards in between. We'll take a bit of a beating here, but the Metamorph also runs out. Here's some roaming capability here, at least in the lane here for the Hippomaniacs. They also get a kill on Tanner. It goes into the hands of the Wraith King, so that's already a lot better for the Hippomaniacs on their safe lane. Getting a carry kill.
Yep. And this is a very decent lane for Hippomaniacs, I might add. There is a possibility of them getting some pickoffs onto Muff with the Morana arrow, but in the end, the Wraith King will do well versus the Tidehunter once the supports leave the lane.
Yep.
So he will not be forced out.
Denied.
Lil Pleb taking a massive beating here. Dragon Tail into LSA stun, a couple right clicks. Even that, the 12 armor is not going to be enough.
No money for you.
And he's going to need some more regen. He's only got a couple tangos left. Doesn't have a salve available. What can we expect from a mid-snap, though? What are we going to see? Lane rotations? It's not the same with Mortimer's Kisses. It's usually a good setup for a kill because it's a slow, a lot of heavy damage. What else
It's
can
a
we expect
defensive
from?
rotating hero.
Yeah, a defensive
So-
rotation, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to wait until the fight breaks out under either of the Dire Towers, and that's where Atlantic will look to TP in.
Muff almost manages to steal the bounty rune under the eyes of Tanner, but Tanner leaps on top of the
Dire's
bounty
middle
rune
tower
into the
taking
bubbles.
damage.
SD is not able to steal this one.
The
Malik.
Zeus is safe from...
The many innocent
Rotations for
lives
now.
Dire's courier has taken.
Yeah, Mambos is
may be a tale
having a
for
pretty
now,
free time
but it's
here.
dead.
Kind of surprising. I haven't seen the Tusk is enjoying his time in top. I think it's more in.
He is
Yeah,
busy
yeah,
killing a DK.
yeah, I think it's more important for him to just stay here and keep saving his
Dire's
Terrorblade. I
top
think
tower
that's
is
more
being
important than
attacked.
shutting down the Zeus. It's more like a game theory thing here. They could punish the
So-
Zeus, but it's better to help the TB.
You say that so confidently, but this is the kind of thing that teams will get hung up over
Yeah.
forever.
Very,
And
very
it's
true.
a very important discussion to have because, of course, both of them, like, is it more important to shut down your enemy or is
Yep.
it more important to boost yourself? The answer is it depends.
It depends. It definitely depends. SD catching an arrow. Bubble is available. 2 points in poison. Has to TP out. That leaves the Wraith King alone in the lane for a while. Tanner should have the opening to either harass this Wraith King. There's a big wave as well.
I could do
And
with
they're going to do exactly that. Gush, arrow, couple right clicks. They have Anchor Smash and everything. He's already down to half HP. He's got a lot of tangos, though.
Sawi is going to do decently here, but anytime they get him low like this is it's the point where it gets really scary for Wraith King because you want to be able to play up aggressively and use your Mortal Strike in order to trade. Whenever you get low, there is a risk you die. You don't have that much armor. You can see that he's stacked up on the armor already with the Ring of Protection and the Chainmail, just to make sure that this Tide doesn't win out in the trades.
Yeah, like, if Wraith King doesn't have armor, good point. Like, even with the Ring of Protection added, if he doesn't have that, that Gush is gonna hurt. If Morana picks up a Blightstone to level start things off, that's gonna hurt a lot as well. Fishman, Mambos comes in, gets the ulti off Lil Pep's got 200 HP and he pops the salve. Philmany looking for a blind LSA, hoping to catch the TB in it, but forces him out. It's a kill nevertheless. Mambos rotating for a kill.
He almost got arrowed when he TP'd out because Tanner came into mid as soon as the ward timed out to place a ward of his own, so now the Zeus is being watched. Ads. Alright.
I'm looking
Surprised to
at-
see him rotate into a Tidehunter that does not have Ravage
Radiant's
yet.
middle
I'm not
tower
sure if
is
they can
being
make a kill
attacked.
happen here.
Yep. Look at these stacks Tanner is making. Oh my god. Like the Brits say, that's a lot of dosh. It's not stacking though. Doesn't get the ancient stack either. There's already a sentry placed down. And yeah, it's... wait, hang on. Oh yeah, there was a creep in camp. Never mind. That's why it did stack. But Muff has blocked the other one. Adzantic comes in. SD, you're dead.
Yes.
Yep, you're so dead. Can you get a deny though? No, not gonna happen. Not this time. Easy pickings for Adzantic.
Confused as to which target needs killing.
And I think the TB is done with hiding behind his own tower. making his way out
fitting bounty.
to the base. They're going to try and get Fishman as many levels as possible on top, and in the meantime, this Terrorblade is just going to retreat into his
Yep.
triangle.
Just beautiful
or
movements.
maybe not quite yet, actually, because the stacks need to be cleared first. I don't think the TB can do that.
It's not enough to catch the sentry ward. It's still blocking this camp.
Radiant's
Tanner's going to be a bit
bottom tower is
upset,
being
realizing
attacked.
that this hard camp is not stacking. Does he get the ancients
Dire's
this
top tower
time?
is under
Yeah, he does.
siege.
Small golem turns around just in time. Gets the camp stack. But yeah, realizing there's probably still another sentry in the area, but he's just going to have to let it slide this time. But like you said, I want to jump back to the idea you talked about. Fishman rotating to top. He can get free XP for himself. TB can do a tiny bit of jungling. He's not good right now to actually clear any ancients or a camp like this. Like, he's just going to end up dying clearing this. So that's a downside for him, that he can't actually clear it. But it's going to be there for him. And every other hero in his team is getting stronger. Through farm, but mostly through XP. Tipek's already running away.
I was wondering if the
Oh,
Tide
Mortimer's
wasn't
kisses.
going to take it or tank it.
Pop. Needs to get a couple more connections now. Not gonna happen. He's missing almost everything, but drives Tipek away nevertheless. Meanwhile, in bottom, yeah, quick muff kill. Looks like an arrow connected onto a gush. He just dies so fast that, you know, there's no, no time to jump in there. 2 to 5 though.
And meanwhile,
Tipek pops his ulti. Wants to push this lane out at least. Tries to get some aggression on the map. Because right now, Hippomanics aren't really pressuring anywhere. And ITB are doing jungle stacks, ancient stacks.
yeah, they're getting away with a lot of
They
creep
are.
order at the very least right now.
They
They
need to
found
do
ads
something
over on
about
the
it.
side though.
Something pretty low here. Snowball save,
Oh.
bringing them deeper. Pretty place play there from Fishman, and Adzante gets away, but there's the ulti from Zeus, and Filmini gets a right click in. They will take down the Tusk as well. So, Hippomaniacs, finally some success. Good for them. Back on the board.
That was beautiful though. Getting the high ground vision with his shards so he could snowball him
Snowball
after
save,
he
yeah.
came out to the high ground. That was pretty sick.
It was pretty sick. But that's what's expected from your Tusk player, to be awake. You've picked the hero literally for the snowball, so it's good that when you see those things happen that they actually almost pay off. There's still Zeus ulti now. That's gonna boil down to some very hectic moments. We have almost TP boots up on the Snapfire, so we're gonna have more and more rotations. Adzante can always come to the rescue if TP's getting ganked on. But what I'm fearing for Hippos, they're playing against the TB. When TB gets BKB, what do you do?
Very, very little hoping that he doesn't have enough damage to kill you yet, is what you do. Wait it out. But yeah, this is looking to be a very calm game. Just some pickoffs here and then. Muff bites the dust once again to this ward over here.
At least they have the Zeus to D-ward, but they're scared. Fishman is ready to go in if they try to D-ward that. He spot Mambos. Something goes for the DD rune. Good pop it and go. Cookie gets the stun. Here comes the Wraith King though. Okay, pops his DD,
Not
hoping that he
high
could actually go in, but instant turnaround, instant regret. Tipek can't get in range of the stun. He does pop the dragon form. They could pressure this mid tower. But on the other hand, look at Tanner's position. Mirana's ready to throw in an arrow. There we go. Does it connect? Only hits the catapult. Doesn't hit on a hero. No opening for into the breach, but they're still holding to defend this tower. Here comes Malik looking for the Ravage. He's connecting onto 3. Will get the stun out onto 2 at least. Here comes the Mortimer's Kisses as well. Filmini dropping low on HP and will also take down this Wraith King for the first time. Will they? There we go. They will also lose Fishman. Filmini also traded away. Malik dropping very low on HP. 200 only remaining. Meanwhile, they got to jump onto the Zeus, and Zeus is gone without getting the ulti off. Lil Pleb pushing Tipek. The Gush comes out. The slow, the minus armor, the right clicks, everything on Tipek. It's a big chase. The chase finally ends up being the DK dead. 4 for 1.
And the angle at which the TB comes into that fight all the way from the back when the attention of Hippomaniacs is fully on the fight in front is just so beautiful. It enables him to mow down that backline and make sure that really none of the reactions are spent on him. Sure, Malik gets very low there, but he doesn't actually die, and even if he did, he got the Ravage off.
Yeah, and you're killing a Tide Hunter who already did their most important job. getting the ulti, getting the Ravage out. Meanwhile, Mambos gets the Arc Lightning connection. Pops the ulti for vision, pops his Q to finish off the hero. 400 gold, a solo kill. That's actually a lot of XP as well for this Zeus.
A lot of XP. Adds
Never
a little bit
underestimate,
overzealous
yeah.
there.
The importance of solo kills is big. Run ulti. They have spotted it. Tusk goes in, doesn't care. Not a worry in the world. Pops his tag team. But look at this. Lil Pleb playing aggressive on this TV. Doesn't care. Tanner, 20 HP. Finally gets taken out 1-for-1. Lil Pleb might have overextended a little bit here. Needs to be careful.
Malik's coming
Fishman,
from the
no
back.
spells remaining. Malik comes in though. He's got a haste rune. Gets stunned up with the Dragon Tail. Can still keep going. Maybe get a kill on Muff, but Muff is actually forced away, so they can't quite dive under the tower. And Suntek does have his Mortimer's Kisses ready. Muff. Gotta think twice not to walk on that high ground. At least into the breach or back and away.
Yep, they can't really get any kills here unless Hippomaniacs decide to take the fight. That's the only downside of really relying on these big ults for ITB, is if the enemy doesn't want to take your bait, then you're not getting a fight. Simple as that. Hippomaniacs holding their horses. Of course, they are going to get forced into the fight the next time, because the Ravage is nearly off cooldown and the Mortimer's Kisses are already ready. So, whenever ITB wants to, they will go.
Wraith King's game, or at least if we look at Slavi's perspective, game 1 was really hard on CK. This game, he's had much more freer time to farm up. The classic Wraith King transition into jungle, clear out jungle like super fast, get Midas, start building into big items. Radiance is well underway. Already 1,800 gold towards it. And we're only 13 minutes into the game, so as long as this Wraith King doesn't die too many times. Still hasn't died a single time yet, but now it just might be the first time. It comes a little bit too freely, to be honest. Into the breach will take a freebie. They'll be really happy with this one. It was 20 seconds until Reincarnate would have been up, but you should not be this deep.
Actually, not without covering vision, I think.
Yeah, like they're like this is the area to play as pause 1 this early into the game, realizing that, well, there's no tower. I should be happy and free here. Into the breach just plays the complete opposite. They will go to top. They will go on the Wraith King if they see him, and that was a good play.
I mean, even though ITB have been playing very fast, the late game is still theirs with the Terrorblade, so they can afford to go back to keep the enemy down instead of boosting their own hero. And that's what I was talking about when earlier we mentioned, alright, it depends. Boosting yourself is important if you have timings to hit that are earlier than the enemies.
Yeah.
Keeping the enemy down is really reserved for moments in this when they have early timings to hit and you can just wait it out.
Yep.
Now, I don't want to say that ITB should be waiting it out by any means, because as you can see, they can leverage this TV.
Let's see what happens. DK in the front. Blink stuns available. Catches the Tusk under the ward. LSA connection. Quick kill.
Yes,
Not the best pickoff, but a kill nevertheless. They were hoping to find the TB farming the triangle. That's what they really smoked up for. But, well, TB wasn't around at that time. Camps were already cleared.
Look at what Lil Pleb's got queued up, by the way. This man is serious about going fast.
Yeah. Pretty early for a Crystalist, don't you think?
He shifted it out. Coward. Coward.
Baiting us.
Just want to mention it.
Baiting us a little bit there. Very, very true. However, Felmany, sit back. Okay, this might lead into more than just one kill. There might be even more. Mortimer's Kisses, drop down. DK falling and dead. Mambo's getting snowball chased here. There goes the Tusk all the way roly-poly down the lane. Fishman, though, quickly forced away by Mambo. Still has an ulti available.
Banner's still flanking as well. Well, actually,
Malik
Malik is
comes in beautifully, catching 3 heroes with the Ravage, and they take down Mambo. So they're going to take another one. It's going to be SD falling. Completely missed Malik coming in from the side, but so did Hippos. They weren't expecting this tide to show up out of nowhere. Drop a Ravage on top. They get the mid kill and the support. Big ones indeed. Nice move there.
team
I think a
fight
rush.
positioning. Yeah, like first from Lil Pleb, now from Malik, you can see that ITB has really paid attention to how they want to position themselves in teamfight, how they want to pincer their opponents. This is beautiful play. This is the kind of attention to details outside of, hey, how do I throw my spells, that I really like to see from teams. And it's helping make these fights where ITB is just mildly advantaged into way more advantageous situations.
Petition to continue living peacefully.
16 and a half minutes. First Aegis picked up for Into the Breach, and they're instantly hunting for more. They spot Tipek in the area. They're also pinging a potential ward spot here. They will be happy to find that it is there.
Where's the blink on the tide now?
Okay. Oh, okay. They actually go for Fishman here, but the blink stun and Zeus ulti, but it's not enough.
I thought I learned from the previous game. You don't kill Fishman.
You
He's not
you
actually
don't.
overextended. But yeah, what I wanted to bring up here, and this is a problem for Hippomaniacs, is that with the items coming in over on the side of ITB, they become less and less dependent on their ults. This Snapfire has added a Kea and Sange, which is quite a bit of damage and tankability. And the Tide with that blink, as well as the Hood on top, he is going to be able to go in on anything and give his team vision for these arrows, for these snowballs, to make sure that ITB can take advantageous fights even if they don't have their ults up.
ITB now 4,000 gold ahead of the Hippos. Wraith King, though, he's finishing up that Radiance. Just a couple more 100 gold to finish off the Radiance recipe, and we'll get this Wraith King up and running and online. That's what they need. They need a damage dealer to back them up in these fights. Otherwise, I think Hippos have been doing the right things. They just haven't really had the damage ever present when needed. Now Malik has to soak up a bit. He already pops his hood. Gets to waddle away. Meanwhile, Pot multi. Moonlight Shadow has been popped. Tanner finds Tipek. Yules into the arrow. Plop.
Middle tower is taking damage.
The prize is mine.
And are you going to kill
No
this
part of
guy?
damage.
I don't think so.
No.
It's like...
Yeah.
Yep.
You can annoy him.
Yeah, they made their presence known. I think that's the main goal here. But Malik, Blink ravages up, finds Muff. Demonic Purge, okay. Might be able to kill this Tide before he gets anything out, though. Nice Thunder from Lil Pleb. Almost sacrifices his life there. Gotta be careful that the Zeus doesn't find him. Oh, super close. He's at 60 HP, and he just popped his meta. No, he doesn't actually have his Metamorph popped yet. But they find Mumbles. They find Muff. Filmony getting chased up. Tanner right behind him. Has the arrow. Soon off cooldown. Yules is there, but he's going to get stunned and killed away. So it's a 2-for-1. He's still alive.
Tower is being attacked.
Nice play with the Sunder there. Keeping Malik up and allowing the Ravage.
Insanely risky. I don't think that was actually calculated, but yeah, if Malik needs to be ready to drop the Ravage there immediately, understand that if the Zeus doesn't die right now, the TV is goner. But he did that, and this is, you're saying they need damage, and to be more precise, they need damage that's not the Zeus, because the Zeus dies.
Yeah, the Zeus dies again. This is a hard game for Zeus as well. If the Tusk and the Tide are constantly on you, you have no means of getting out. There goes the Aegis.
That was gonna happen.
Just for it, just for that. Just for that. They kind of expected him to be low. Filmony down to Tanner with the Star Storm. They got the SD into the air. No arrow available, but doesn't matter. Here comes Slavi, though. He's got that fresh Radiance. Meanwhile, Tipek is already being slaughtered by Fishman, Malik, and Azantic. Do a bit of damage onto Tanner. He's got a stun available. Finds Malik in the trees. He's gonna drop to this TB, maybe. Or not. And Azantic goes for the snipe with the Snapfire, finding him on the back lines. Now they're chasing him. They want revenge. You just popped our Wraith King for the first time. We want to get you down, but Azantic able to get the escape. Meanwhile, Glyph being used. Tier 1 tower low. Lil Pleb 400 HP. Tipek also respawning. ITB realized that they're back at full strength. Disengage for now. He's
Exactly.
being on the shrine.
Kill the living and smash the
Never mind. They're already far away.
Yeah, they're already far back. This Wraith King's game is so hard. They're really relying on Muff and on Mambos to deal with the Terrorblade while he hopefully gets some hits off on the rest of the heroes. But it is so hard to ignore this TV. with all of the minus armor, he already deals so much damage. Norman's like, okay, fine, you know what? A TB with like Dragonlance Manta style, he packs a decent punch. But he's, to a certain extent, ignorable.
MLS. Oh, look at this. All he needs is just a tiny bit of vision from Mambos. They could use arrow, but they don't need to.
The
Cookie
old
stun.
ways are gone, geezer.
Plenty of damage. Mambo's dead. Honestly, this is a risk area for Hippos. They've been losing big cores in that area.
They haven't been able to keep the infusion advantage over that, as well as that they don't have any defensive items on the heroes that are farming there right now.
Wraith King.
Look
Again,
at that reflection, just murdering him.
Yep. And it crits. If I remember correct. So many heals into the air. Tanner with the... okay. You know, not even throwing the arrow.
Yeah.
Tanks the Laguna Blade and TP's back home. Okay. This is the confidence that is showing from Into the Breach right now, but Hippos, they're not feeling this game anymore. If it ever was in control, this is far from it.
That point is long gone. You can see here that Into the Breach, they already did all the outplaying. They had 2 fights with the beautiful positioning from their cores. One's Lil Pleb from the back, one's Malik from the back. And they've already cinched that mid game so hard that now they can just mop up the spoils whenever Hippomaniacs show themselves. And it's very hard for Hippomaniacs to be disciplined here because, again, you want to take anything you can to restore order to your game plan as soon as possible because you don't have the late game. You need to outplay so hard in order to be equal at all in the late game.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
23 minutes in. And this is kind of the time where Wraith King is slowly hitting a somewhat of a power spike. It's looking item-wise, but yeah, you were hoping to have at least that +1 item to really dominate in fights. But just having so much difficulties getting there. He had the time to farm up, but most of that farm was jungle farms, and that obviously slows you down a bit. And in comparison, if you look at the last hits denies, it's pretty even compared to that the enemy has a TB. Which is pretty good for a Wraith King, to keep up with the Terrorblade and farm. Not too far behind, still looking decent. However, Philmony can get hit by the reflection. Malik chasing him up in the trees. Make short work of this
Atlantic
Lina.
was found on the backline though.
Just the arrow.
Got Fishman as well.
That's something, yeah. So a decent HP Tipic. No stun available now, but Malik, he's running out. He's low on mana, but he could pop a Ravage if needed. However, Mortimer's Kiss is already used up. Pretty long distance one as well. 2 kills. ITV still at full strength.
His DK is so poor, man. He really needs a BKB in this game, but he's not even halfway. Tanner's out farming him.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Yeah, that's rough. The Mirana's got more farm. And Mirana's going for a Desolator just because he can. They're going for the minus armor game. You talked about the Snapfire pick as the minus armor. They're going Deso to line up even more. Nice Mantis stun dodge. And there's the Ravage. Wraith King pops for the first time. Muff falls. Just look at Slawi. That's basically a 3-4 hit from Lil Pleb. And that Wraith King is out of play.
That was so desperate. It's really, oh man, he's low, I gotta go. But like, he forgets in the process that it's a Terrorblade. And if Terrorblade is low and you're not, then actually you're the one who's low. You're not gonna crit him down.
You're not gonna crit him down.
Through that armor.
Radiant's bottom tower.
He centered you, the table's turn.
And it's all kind of like a situation where, well, we got Zeus, which is somewhat of a counter, but not really getting that much out of him. Enemies are getting too tanky for my magic to kill them. Muff. Dead once again. Philmony looking to be the next. Here comes Tanner with the arrow. Calculates where Lina's moving. And another one. Brits are moving onward. Having a very strong chokehold onto the Hippomaniacs to continue to the next round of the lower bracket. Great game 1. Looking like a great game 2 too, as Mambos. He's got the Nimbus. Malik body blocking. Body blocking, body blocking, even in Invis. And nowhere to run for this Zeus. Caught by the arrow, getting killed. Mortimer's Kisses blowing them up. Tipic down. Slawi, 40 seconds for his ulti to be up. And here comes Lil Pleb with a blink dagger of all things on this TB. They have just team wiped Hippomaniacs and they dropped them out of the tournament. GG! Into the breach, marches on to the next round.
Is, yeah, definitely a walkover for sure. Not really much that Hippomaniacs could do about this after those two mid-game teamfights. Just ITB really on a different level today. Very impressive plays by them. Like that's how you say, you know, they didn't have to go this hard, but
Yeah.
they did because they could. And these kinds of skills, like the way you go into team fights, the way you get your vision, the way you decide to chase on, etc., these are the skills that can take you further in a run like this, because those are going to start making the real difference versus the big teams as well. I am very impressed by Into the Breach right now.
They're looking good. Overall, I feel like either Hippomaniacs couldn't give up, kind of step up to the stage and give the fight against Into the Breach, but overall, game one, Fishman absolutely great on Clockwork, enabling the team by so much. We had the Malik Broodmother doing his own thing, Adzanting on this Void, all that stuff in game one was kind of like you're 2 levels ahead of your opponent, and not levels as in levels, but as in like gameplay. Well, you can use whatever measurement you want here in this case, but just great. And in the second game, Into the Breach just kept on rolling from where they kind of stepped off or left out of game one. They allowed the Raid King to pick up some farm, but at the same time, you saw how well that TB lane was going. That was just mad how well they can get that TB rolling, and kind of forgetting that there's even a Zeus in the game. Okay, Zeus is going to have an okay game, but our TB's having a better one, so we're putting our bet on that.
Yep, looking very good. And Hippomaniacs, yeah, they have the punching power of that Zeus, but they didn't really feel ready to actually leverage it. So, gotta say, Into the Breach, 2 extremely well-deserved victories, and yeah, I want to see this roster play against somebody more challenging, because that's where we're going to see a lot of the things that they've clearly been practicing make the difference. So very much looking forward to that.
Indeed. For tomorrow, we still don't know what the casting pairs or the games are exactly going to be, because the mainstream games are still rolling. They will continue rolling. There's still plenty of series to go. Viking GG versus OG is going to be up next there. We're done for B stream, though, but we shall return tomorrow with Kips. We have the loser of Spider Pigs versus Team Liquid against Team Ball Reborn. So if you're a Gork fan, make sure you're tuning in on Beyond the Summit 3 tomorrow. That will be our place to be for that series. And the loser of Viking GG OG versus Chicken Fighters. So that's also going to be a pretty hype series, no matter who the teams are going to be. I'm feeling like tomorrow's games are, let's say, next level compared to what we saw today, for sure. Absolutely. We're going to get the tournament's just going to get tighter and tighter with every day we go onward. The competition gets bigger, the players get better, and obviously, hopefully, we can stay as handsome and gorgeous as we can and give you all the stuff that we need to know. But hey, we're going to close that out for today. Thank you, Kips. Thank you, all the viewers out there. Thank you for Mate for sponsoring. And, of course, Beyond the Summit for having us here. We shall return tomorrow with 2 more series. But until then, take care of yourselves. Good night and bye-bye.